So, very good afternoon, everybody. And before we take a round and we move across the students and ask them what is their concept of literature now, or how they see literature in context of a metaphor, their own metaphor that they have identified to read literature, and how literature shaped them in last 5 years. There are this new students like semester 2 students also. So some of the very key objectives which we try to look through this, a quick overview of those things there. Um, it is about obviously mastering the core subject, that is literature that you are going to be studying. So literature and language, that obviously is at the core, that at the end of the year you are somewhere better off in understanding literature. Your literary sensibilities have developed a little bit better than what it was at the end of third year of BA, and your language capabilities have also improved a little bit, if not tremendously, then slight improvement should be there even in your language capacities. So these are core things, and along with that, as it is necessary to look at digital skills in today's time, so how you have developed digital skills, both the things are to be seen there. Then four types of thinking, whether you are able to develop the thinking abilities in different ways or not, that we have to see. Digital citizenship, are you understanding what is to be a citizen in a digital era, and how one should have a digital presence in different ways. Here it is about academic, so your academic journey and academic branding, how you do through your learning or your academic life. Along with that, how you develop your academic journey over digital platform, and the academic branding also, and sense of belonging with whatever you are producing in the classroom. It is believed that in today's time, students who are working in classroom, whatever they generate or produce in the classroom should be archived, curated, uploaded on some digital space. It should not go in vain in the classroom. Anything that is done by teachers and students should be available somewhere on digital platform. That becomes something necessary condition to live in 21st century, and whether that is happening or not with our things there. And it is believed that digital portfolio helps in building self-confidence. So whether you are now self-confident about yourself or not, so far as your learning and other things are concerned or not, because people say that it is ultimately self-confidence that plays a vital role in real life situations. If you are confident enough about anything, then you can win the things. Otherwise, whatever capabilities you have, you may not work out the thing. People say digital portfolio help in building confidence also. So these are some of those objectives. So first thing that we were seeing, that Holly Clark has observed this, that anything that is done by students in the classroom should be curated, archived, and it should be available as a part of digital citizenship on digital platform. And through that, students should be learning digital literacy skills also, necessary now. Any class, any work that people are doing, even if physical works are done, they have to think, teachers have to think, students have to think that how this can go somewhere on digital platform, how it can be preserved. That is very, very necessary. And I repeat this because I'm still seeing that you are not understanding this. Many of you are still not understanding this idea that why whatever you do should be somewhere available on digital platform. And because we have seen this for many years, we planned several things that if you tell students, they are not going to do. If you tell, they are not going to do. So you have to do something that at least minimum things are available online. So PPT compulsory. Earlier students were coming and telling that I will not prepare PPT, I will just make presentation. So we said no, you have to make PPT because that PPT will go on SlideShare. It will be on digital platform. It will not go in vain. The paper will go in vain. All these papers will become pasti. But something on a SlideShare will not become pasti. Then assignments, printed, handwritten you give, but we thought that you have to go for blog also. So at least at the end of 2 years, you have, if nothing, then also 15 to 20 presentations, 15 to 20 blogs, at least that much is there with everybody. At least that much work everybody has produced during the study, and that is available for curating, for archiving, and for digital portfolio also. To make a site or a blog is easy, but there should be a content also. And without content, what people are going to do with their blog or site? So students should have some digital content, and it should be a integral part of the study. So right from the first day that you come to department, you are doing something digitally. Something is happening which is online. This time we have given QR code, and you scan a QR code, you enter into Google Classroom, you go there, there is an online quiz available, and you have to write something, take a photo and submit that in Google Classroom. So that was like beginning. If you handwrite anything also, it will be digitized and will be made available to you even in the 4th semester. So whatever you have written on the first day here, we will give it back to you in the 4th semester, that this is what you have done. So that is how it begins. The journey begins in that way, and then subsequently thinking activities are there, online tests are there, which all becomes a record which remains with all the students are there. Thinking, integrative thinking, reflective thinking, thinking in community and thinking in context, which obviously tend to say that you are not only seeing at your syllabus as something that is not connected with your life, but you try to connect your life, your surrounding, along with what you are learning. Necessarily, it is very, very important. So in our classroom discussion, time and again, we bring what is happening outside the classroom. Newspaper cuttings, newspaper photographs, whatever is happening. We ask you to Google and see the news to see that what is happening and how it is connected constantly. Because that helps in all these 4 types of thinking. You see your syllabus in connection with the life around which we are living. So that purpose. Now, for the same thing, thinking activities are also designed. That whatever points are given, you are supposed to connect that point with something outside. We are not able to get very good success with thinking abilities or thinking activities still. We are still not able to see what we are like expecting, that you see things in such a way that it is surprising to us also, that it is something new for us also, that you have connected the things in such a way that it is our gain also, it is a teacher's gain also. That is supposed to be ideally in an academic environment, because young learners are also having their own way of looking at the world. So if they have those capabilities, they will look at it in such a way that they will help teachers also to see those things with a newer, fresher perspective also. So we still keep on telling you that, well, you still have to connect the dot, and somewhere if it will happen, we will let you know also that, well, here something is happening as such. It is for this only that we try to tell you that in your presentations and assignments, don't only stick to the syllabus, but try to connect that with some other things. It can be regional literature, it can be something happening around, and some of you are able to do that. There we have to say that some of you are successfully able to understand that. So you are comparing it with either popular cinema or web series or the happenings around the thing that you are trying to bring. So presentations and assignments are those topics where all this thinking, different abilities are developed. And all those things that you are doing is there on digital portfolio. It is there. Your presentations are there. Your assignments are also there, apart from your thinking activities and other things. So that is how your digital portfolio is rich enough, which reflects your variety of thinking abilities also. And you should be confident about this. You should be very confident about this. The new students might have experienced that how confident all these people were when they were talking about their digital portfolio, their connection with that, whether they were or not, that you can see. And if you have seen that they were, then you have to imitate that. In the next year, you have to imitate. And if you found them somewhere lacking, then try to make it off and see that you do not display that lack of confidence when you work on your portfolios. Then it is your academic journey. Last 2 years of your academic journey is now at your fingertips. Anything that you have done is not lost, and it is preserved here, and that itself gives us a wonderful way of looking at our academic life. Today, at the end of semester, 4 semesters, also you might be looking at it in a different way. But as the time will pass, and as you will move on towards the career in the life or in a society, then if you will come back and see, it will again be a kind of happy shock to you, that this is what you were doing. This is how you were making presentations, and all those things become very significant there. So that way, perhaps it will keep on helping you. It will keep on be a part of your life journey about whatever you have done. Many times we feel that whatever we have done in our masters, we want to see. But it is nowhere there. It is nowhere. Our MA is only there in form of mark sheet. There is no other document that we have done MA. There are no photographs also of when we were doing MA. So there is no evidence as such that whether we have done masters and graduation or not, except for a printed mark sheet which university has given us. As compared to that, you have lot many things about your master's program, about your master's and other things. Lot many things are there. So that is a very interesting academic journey that you can see there. Professional branding or academic branding, that what you are academically, that is very important in today's time. So this will reflect as such for your academic branding and other things also. Bhavyang sir might have told you about that, how today even social media networks and that are very important for our branding. So what we do on that, and the job givers obviously are looking all those things. They try to see that how what you are doing, and then so this branding on social media and other things is very important nowadays. This point that when you work on all these things, have you ever seen that this professional branding or the things are helping you, like looking at your digital profile and your digital work, the way you have presented yourself, were you invited anywhere to talk about it? That is, maybe that might not have happened with everybody yet. Sometimes we have such students that while they are still there, they are going for workshops as a resource person, and they do extension of work in different way also. But somewhere all those things has happened because of the way you were projecting yourself on social media or on your blogs and other thing. And so somebody thought that, well, you are useful to us, to our students. So you come to our college or our school and talk with our teachers or our students. That has to happen. That has to. So then it becomes a success story. Somebody whom you have never met, you have never gone to those people, and there is not at all any kind of personal meeting, and yet they are inviting you for some kind of an academic deliberations. So then that becomes a success story of what we do it as a digital professional branding or digital academic branding. It means that, well, things are working, and they are working also with our students also, with our other teachers also. It is working, and they are becoming resource persons in various programs organized by people in other states also, where you don't know them personally. You don't know them personally, but there is only a digital connection, and through which you are invited to share your knowledge. That is a success story. That has to happen. Then we can say that, well, our whatever work we are doing, we are getting some success with that also. Sense of belonging and to own the learning, which is very, very important thing. So how you own your learning, like I told you earlier also, that you are not presenting for me, for teachers. You are presenting or writing blog for your sake. You think that this is my blog, this is my video, this is my presentation. That is owning that. So I have to work on that. Whether anybody is reading it or not, it is not important for me. Whether anybody is watching that video or not, it is absolutely not important for me. Why I say this? Because whenever I talk about this, that why don't teachers or other people make videos and upload, they would say that, but nobody is watching. Nobody is coming to watch. That I say, it is not for others, it is for yourself. It is for you. Do you own your thing in different way, and then can you work out on those capacities or not? So that is there. If you were given an option, whether you want to record or your presentations or not, I don't think all of you might be ready. Hardly 20-30% would be ready. The other would say, no, don't record our videos. If given an option. So we don't give an option. Right? For quite many years now, 10 years back, you might have seen digital portfolios of students who passed in 2011 and 12 also. Their videos also we were recording. When we were not having all these tools, another thing, the videos, quality of videos are also not very good. But still, we were doing those things and giving them. We don't know whether they are using those things, looking at those things or not, talking about that with other people or not. We are not aware about those things because they are not sharing or they are not vocal about it. And this happens because normally we have large number of girls, and girls normally go into the household work and they are lost around their children and husband and in-laws. So they have nothing to talk about now. So now they are busy with other kind of a life rather than academic life. So we hope that, and there are boys, but boys we don't know how they are engaging themselves with their academic life, whether they are getting or doing anything or not. Normally they remain silent. They are or normally silent in the class also. They remain silent when they go outside also. So well, then we don't get a proper voice, but we hope. We have to tell every time. We have to tell every time, and we hope that maybe in this batch people will remain vocal in speaking about those things there. And then it will boost students' self-confidence. It has to boost students' self-confidence also. Now, that again is something that you can tell. I cannot tell whether it is boosting your self-confidence or not. Some of you are very, very openly sharing everything with other people. So I can say that, well, your confidence level is high. You are very openly sharing your blogs, your thinking activities. You are telling people to read your thinking activities. But how many of them? Like 3, 4, 5 students? Not more than that. So it ratio may come down to 20, 25% only. So still 70, 75% are perhaps not confident enough to talk about this. So when we, at the end of the year and the end of 2 years, when we try to analyze, we also try to see where we still have not got success. Our success rate is hardly 20, 25%. Failure is still 70, 75%. So we still have to work very hard on the students, subsequent batches and other people. We have to keep on working hard because we forget 100%. Our goal is 100%. But still our success rate is around 25% only. And still we are not able to convince normally 75% of the students that why all these things are important. We are somewhere failing. Or maybe there are other circumstances that they are learning more from the other people than from us. In that capacity also we can say that it is also our failure, that we are not able to convince them that why these things are necessary part of our academic life and our journey also. But well, if it is happening, then it is boosting your self-confidence. You are engaging in a better way with your learning also there. So these are some of the important aspects to look at in a wider way, to look at a digital portfolio there, which the new students might have seen, or you yourself might have experienced. You yourself are the better judge of yourself, that well, these things have worked with you, or it has absolutely not worked with you. I told you that it has worked only with 25% of the students. With 75% it has not worked. And you also can tell whether with you it has worked or it has not worked. You are a better judge of those things. If you write a blog, write honestly about all these things. Don't just make a show off, but honestly tell that, well, things were there, but we were not interested in all these things. We thought that this is wastage of time, and we never realized that whether the digital portfolio is necessary or not. In our another academic life up till now, 10 plus 2 plus 3, it was not there, and we enjoyed our academic life. We never lacked this kind of a thing. That also you can write. There is nothing wrong in being honest with whatever experience we have about our academic journey. Okay, so now a very quick round I will take. I'll take a round. Our series will be according to your performance in last presentation. So we'll start with the top, like Daya, Nidhi, Riddhi, they were the top. In that sequence, we will move around, not according to roll number. And in that sequence, we will move and we will ask you. So you will have a time of 3 minutes. And you have to answer these questions. What is literature now according to you? If you want to compare with what you said earlier and now what you say, that also you can say. What is your metaphor? Quick explanation of metaphor, and something significant about how literature shaped you. These 3 things only, and within 3 to 4 minutes. So don't speak like a jalebi kind of a thing. Straightforward. This 1, 2, 3 things you want to say. So be mentally ready. Be mentally ready. So quickly you can speak about those things there. So who will take care of this camera here? Yeah. Let me also see this. Yes, so anybody from this class? or from this you can see that. Okay. So Daya first, then Nidhi, be ready for this. And some of the pages you keep open. No, you can sit and say. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So what is this? How you start? Yes.
Okay. Hello everyone, myself Daya Vaghani. I would like to start with what is literature before getting in MA. So while getting admission in MA, sir asked to write about what is literature. At that time, I have write that literature is what we are reading in leisure time, and sometimes we are reading in a free times. But after the journey of these 2 years at this department, or 2 years journey of literature, I found the definition of literature is very interesting, or in another way. And I have given a metaphor to the literature as a fish, as we know that fish is not able to live without water, and we also can't imagine the world without literature. Yes, it is there without literature. But if we look with the perspective of literature, or the people who are studying or reading the literature, the perspective must be changed according to the meaning of the literature. And as fish goes into the water very deeply, then it is very important to find the foods and other things uh, from that. Like that, if we go very deep into the literature, we can find many more perspective to look at the world, and through that we can define the world, and define the people around us, and we are able to learn our life with the help of literature very interestingly. And the learning outcome of this is to success towards our life. And how literature shaped me. Literature has changed my life a lot, my viewpoints a lot. Because before studying literature in BA, I proudly say that in BA I haven't studied very seriously literature. Because is there any college problem, or in this is my fault, I don't know. But the definition of literature, I
Metaphor is fish and water. Now, just think of this further, and you see that the connection means fish is a reader and water is literature. If you try to see it in that way, then that also you have to. And what about critics? Who are the critics in this? So when you explore the metaphor in a much larger way, you need to explore this, that how it happens. Fish also is a food for many people. So how do we see that metaphor in an extended way? This fish in the water means oneself in the water, or how we try to see. So explore that connection. This other literature is a water in that, and how fish is in the water, that you try to see here. Okay, second is Nidhi. Yes.
First, when I was firstly in a
Let me see this.
semester, okay.
Yeah, you continue. Yeah.
So the dynamics of mind to sing literature is totally different. I am thinking that literature is only for art's sake. Like it is for pleasure. It is not for connected our life. It's not for moral. It is just for reading. It's for just entertainment. But later on, during this 2 year, my seeing or vision of the literature is totally changed. And I have given the metaphor of ocean. That ocean consists of billions and millions of water. We cannot calculate it. In this sense, the world literature is innumerable. One cannot number. One cannot give that particular thing that word is only literature, and the ocean's water is one cannot drink directly ocean's water. In this way, one cannot drink literature directly. For drinking it or for digesting literature, we need some filters. We need filters like a professor, like a critics. So this way, the literature and ocean is connected. And ocean consists of so many animals. It has some small as well as a big animal. In this same way, literature has so many different kind of various kind of piece, like a poem, like a criticism, like a novel. So for I just think we need a filters. So in this way, literature and ocean is connected, and one cannot live without literature, and one cannot live without the water. So water and literature is connected with each other, and literature is consist by this ocean. And literature shaped me a lot. That it made me more mature. Now I'm able to connect literature with life. I'm seeing the situation with the help of literature. During this 5 years, I have studied so many characters. I have also seen so many stories. And now, if I'm facing that kind of situation or at a nearer similar situation, now I'm able to read that how to control myself with going with flow. That it makes me more mature. That do not be so emotional with each and everything. And now it teaches me that you are able for representing to the world. Now you are able to facing the world. Now you are able to stand on your own leg.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, so that point of filter is very important. Next is Riddhi. Yes, okay. So that point of filter is very important, that how the ocean water is normally not drinkable, but through the filters of critics or other things, it becomes somewhere significant. Yeah? Okay, yes, Riddhi. Be quick, yeah? Be quick and be short also in your things. Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm talking about what is the literature for me, so literature is a powerhouse. This powerhouse gives electricity and all kind of light to everybody. So similarly, if we see in literature, so literature guides us and so gave full of light and right perspective to all the lifetime. So time and again, society and people need some light, new perspective, and areas which were hidden in the darkness. And if I'm talking about how literature shaped me, so to be honest, literature gives us a very important things to us, and literature discuss all sorts of terrible things, but there is some sense of fulfillment, and that is what makes literature wonderful. So literature is just like water in past jungle, irrigating your thoughts and awareness of life and awareness of life and people.
Okay, fine. Okay, so shaping, Nidhi has quite significantly said that earlier you were uh, uh, immaturely reacting to the life situations. Now you think you are able to control yourself in a better way. Latta is next. Okay? So that way, exactly, specifically what you mean that literature might have done something to you, which helped you to combat with life in a better way. Yes, yeah, Lata.
Yes, yes, sir. In my bachelor's, I was thinking that literature is just a study of this form of novel, drama, short stories, and to read this all is literature. But no, the view has changed totally after I took admission in my master's. The things that I was thinking about society, of my life, about the surround things that had changed because literature is giving you a worldwide view of what is happening in world. That it gives examples that it is connected with our life, so we can connect it with life. And I give a metaphor of sheep to literature, that sheep and literature is connected with each other. And, both gives us a wide view of world. Sheep is taking us from from one place to another, as well as literature is taking us from one phase of life to an advanced phase of life. And sometimes literature and sheep both faces problem, like sheep faces cyclones and high winds and other problems, and it may sunk in water also. And if we look at literature may also face some problems, like literature. Some writers are portraying reality, and some are not able to get this that what message is conveyed by author in that work. So at that place literature may fades, but if we look at in a positive way, we can say that what if ship sinks in water, then we can say that we can take example of Titanic, that it converted into museum, and it is now become point of study. And if we look at literature, literature never ends, and we can study it from history. And for ship we need a lighthouse that suggest and guide us ship that how to go and where to go, and the teachers are our lighthouse who suggest and guide us that how to look at the problems and how you can solve this problem through this literature.
Okay,
Thank you.
in last point, you can add not only the teachers, but it is all about wider society. So the people who understand the role of literature, they are the lighthouse. They will stand with the writers when the cyclones are there, the cyclones of narrowness of looking at the life. Then that is there. So it's not only the teachers, because academic life is now ending, and you have still a very long journey left now. So in our totality of life, if it is 100 years, then hardly 18 or 20 years are academic life. The other life is the other thing. Okay, so people who understand the role of literature. Uh, okay, next one is, who is the next? Bhavyang, yes, yeah. Okay.
I was thinking that literature is just about the entertainment, um, uh, um, and I was thinking that all the things like a novel, poem, and that is just a fiction work. And after doing master, I get to know that it is just not a fiction work, but it is about a reality. And author and poet, they are telling about their own experience. And and after doing master, my thinking capacity is also have now been changed, and now I am thinking about a larger picture, that how it will be effect on others. And now knowledge is not the ultimate goal, but it is beyond there is beyond something else. And my metaphor is. A tree, that we can see that tree gives us a shadow. And we can see that if we are connected with the literature, and we are having any problem, then we will definitely get a solution. And we can see that a tree needs water to exist his life. And we can see that if we are connected with the literature, then here existence is like a knowledge, that without knowledge our literature will be incomplete. And we can see that when flowers and fruits are coming in the tree, then it shows that a happiness. And when autumn comes, then it shows a sadness. So in literature also, once if there is a sadness, once it is a happiness, then there will come a sadness also in a life.
Okay, fine. Yeah, okay. Literature is something that gives comforts to the uncomfortable and makes those who are comfortable uncomfortable. Both the things are there with literature. So you can say it is like a coconut tree where you go for a shadow, but it rarely gives a shadow. And if a coconut falls on you, it is damaging. But when you drink a coconut, it gives you something good. But before that, you will have to be hard hit by the coconut also. The literature hits very hard, and when then we open and drink, then it gives something very useful also. Okay, next one is Nandita. Yes,
Um, uh,
where is it? There only. Yeah, this you have opened. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Hmm. Yes. So you go on. Speak.
my view over literature is, I think literature is all about human experience. Whatever other writers and authors had wrote in their works, we read it, and it is useful to us because they had indeed their experience in their work, and by experience of others we can also learn in our life. My metaphor for literature is sun. Sun is something in the universe which is the master of discipline. In order to get successful in our life, we must have discipline in our life. The other way I had connected the dot of sun with literature is that sun is literature, and we are like the earth revolving around literature, literature. So for all the people who are connected to literature, they will shine. And the another thing is that the warmth of sun and the heat of sun we might experience in different way, because in winter we like the suns, or in summer we don't like the sun. So the rays of sun over 9 a.m. is also different, and on 12 p.m. It is also different. So we can connect it through the authors like William Wordsworth and William Shakespeare. So both are masters of literature, but both have different type of view of the literature. Another thing is, as the rays of sun can travel through the universe and through the earth, we can also travel through literature. Because if we are in India, we are studying the literature of America, the literature of Africa. So we can also travel through literature through it.
Okay. Okay, good point. Sun and the phase of life, phase of day, you experience sun in a different way. In a similar way, in a different phase of life, we experience it in a different way. Next is Hiral. Yeah. So at a different phase, we have a different experience of looking at literature. Gulliver's Travels example we have given, that an 8-year-old kid also can enjoy Gulliver's Travels, and an 80 years old person can also get something from such a kind of a literature. Different phases of life, and literature has something to offer. So good metaphor. Yes, yeah, Hiral.
So literature for me is like a Dettol, because it gives 99% of the problem. Because by being literate, I'm able to understand the racism, the queer theory, the capitalism, and the orthodoxity, and the humanity and digital humanities. Those things are really helpful in our regular life. And by being literate, I just have learned to explore things. And literature is like door as well, because if it is open, you can let things come into your mind. Like you can let the understanding of the world come into your mind, and you can let things out as well, like toxicity, negativity, narrow mind, and orthodoxity. You can let those things out as well. So I have just chosen this metaphor, and I am saying that by studying literature, by being student of masters, I came to know that literature made me spy. Like I observe things like I am a spy, because in my bachelor's, literature was all about like writing summaries and stories and analysis of in the answers, and it was all about just the story. I like the story, I do not like the story. But after being a student of master, I come to know that literature is about to explore words. By being a student of literature, I came to know that we can connect literature to this time, and we can connect this time literature to our past as well. So we can conclude the difference between that era and this era, and by by exploring things, we can come to know that how to react such a situation. Like we are studying queer theory and also. By understanding the capitalism, I came to know that who are capitalists in my family as well. So literature made me understand about everything. Like it is not about just a story, but it's all about exploring and spying things. Like we do not just read story from a literature, we will observe things. Like we will observe the era, we will observe the author, we will observe that time, we will observe that age. So literature made me to explore words rather than reading from the book. I would like to go. I would like to connect that. I would like to connect literature with the outer world as well. So that is what literature on my account.
Okay, Sneha is the next. Okay, so a very interesting point, that this metaphor of Dettol, which is, you can say, antiseptic. Yeah? Dettol is a brand, so instead of using the name of a brand, you can say that product. One poem I think we referred in one of the classes, I forgot in which class, where Gujarati poet says, "Ke હું જંતુનાશક દવા બની જાઉં તો સારું, કવિ નથી બનવું મારે. જંતુનાશક દવા, so that antiseptic creams or this all which does that. Door is fine. And also shaping of the thing is that we understand what type of people we are and what kind of people are around us. That understanding is something that grows with us, whether people are capitalist or Marxist or believing into any of the other ideologies. Okay, next is Sneha.
So, hello everyone. From literature, I learned that always think to rational rather than become a sensible. And in my in my PhD studies, I'm not very serious about that. I'm studying literature, and I not think more about that. But now I can connect with all the dots of life, that all the dots with literature of my life. And now I compare my all the things around me that happen that with literature. And I gave for me literature is like a treasure that we all know that in the treasure we put all the things are precious. And in the same things will happens with the literature, like that in all that thing we find a precious thing. But one negative points also are that in a treasure all the things are not only things are precious, but in a literature we find that also precious things and bad things also. And for that finding that treasure, we have to needed one key. Yes, it's about the imagination, but for that we would like to we need to some keys. But from find to literature, we don't have any kind of key. And our mind is key for to open that literature.
Okay, interesting point. With treasure, there is always a word that goes is treasure hunt. Yeah? And in literature also, one has to hunt something in treasure hunt. Key idea also, mind is the key to open, but then many times people would say that literature is a kind of a thing where there is no key at all. Door is always open. You don't have to wait for the key. You just knock it or you push it, it will open for you also. Okay, next one is Khushbu. Yes.
First of all, according to me, literature is like nutrients, and like we get some nutrients from fruits and vegetables. So when we are healthy, then literature helps us to supply all those nutrients necessary for life. And when we get sick, like when we fall into stress and depression, then literature works like a tranquilizer. It gives a solution to all the problems that have come into our life. So in that way, literature works like a medicine. And then my metaphor for the literature is the sun. Just like the sun is the sunrise and sunsets are beautiful. So in the same way, in the same way, when the sun rises, then it dispels darkness and gives light. So similarly, literature dispels darkness and gives us knowledge through education. And sunrise and sunsets are beautiful. So in way, stories, poems, all that we study. Novels that gives us a kind of joy and satisfaction. And similarly, the sun between 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock, it is unbearable. We can't stand in that sun. Some same way, literature is like unbearable. It is intolerable. It shows us the harsh realities, the truths, the bitter truths of life. It tells us the tragedies, and it gives us catharsis. It brings tears into our into our eyes, and it screams and it shouts like that way. So literature is unbearable like that. The harsh sun, it brings catharsis into our life. Then yes, so these two enjoyable and the harsh part of literature. And then the sun, we can say that the sun is the only star, and living beings on the earth cannot survive without the sun. So literature is the basic of the human life that gives a solution to our problems. But the limitations of this metaphor is that literature is not the only field. There are other fields like medical, engineering, commerce, architect, all other fields are there. So literature is not the only one, but the sun is the only one, we can say. So this is the limitations of my metaphor.
Okay, good point. So now it's a good. One person looks at sun but explains the different dimensions. Here there is another the same metaphor, but the dimension of looking is different. Rise and setting of the sun, beauty that gives aesthetic, the aesthetic sense that is connected with literature. That one can see here as a dispeller of darkness. That also it can be seen. The noontime as harsh realities, and there is a limitation also which needs to be always taken care of, that whatever metaphor we are looking at, it has its own limitation. So that also is a good point that you have said here. Okay, next one is Chandani. Yes, okay. Yes.
So after completing my master, I was literature for me is relief of anxiety and stress, and through the subject of we can't get, because we study literature, we can start to create a particular scene in our mind and we feel as our life. And also people haven't changed their thinking and feeling and emotion, but through the literature they can understand and feel the human reaction and the situation. And also we can get an idea about the author's imagination, that what kind of situation they write about the literature, and we also feel about that. And literature is a metaphor of nature is a metaphor of literature. That in that I write about that literature can be defined as an expression of human feelings, thoughts, and idea. And also we can get an idea about the author's experience and their feelings and thoughts. And also Dr. E's described literature as a verbal expression of imagination, and we can symbolize of nature in through the poem, that some of flowers are symbolizes that death or life or loss of hope. And also we can get some symbol of nature like wood and flowers, that we can take an example of Robert Frost no, poem, that wood are lovely, dark and deep, and from that we can get an idea about nature. So
Okay, fine. Yeah, the lines about from Robert Frost about nature obviously speaks about that they are beautiful, but we have uh, other work to be done. So we don't have time to enjoy it. So when literature becomes that woods or nature, then the other people would say that we don't have time for literature. That is what Robert Frost tend to say. It is beautiful, but then everybody might not have time to enjoy the literature. Okay, Aditi. Yeah, yes. Hmm.
Hello everyone. According to me, literature is like is a tea for me, because tea is one type of emotion, and literature is also a one type of emotion. Tea, some people love tea and some people hate tea, and like that, many people is. Like the literature, or some people are not like the literature. Every person has their own perspective and own views on literature, and tea is also like a literature, same as literature, because whenever we are tired and we are bored in our works, and that time we think we have drink a drink a one cup of tea, and we have feel fresh and happy and back to the work. And that is also the same whenever we are stuck in our life problem, and in critical situation, that time we are finding our problem solution in literature, and we are definitely sure to find our solution in literature, in some novels, plays, dramas, and many other things. And tea is
some people like black tea, some people like green tea, and in literature, some people like novels, some like dramas, some like articles, and everything. And we can easily find our problem solution in literature. Then tea and literature both are same, in my opinion.
Okay, fine. The next one is 12th number Pina. Is there? Okay. Yes.
According to me, literature like a mountain. I said that literature like a mountain. Many people say that literature is a very easy thing. I said that literature is not easy. When you climbing on the mountain, you face many difficulties. If you have no lack of knowledge that how to climbing, you have a lack of skill to how to climbing, and then if you have not knowledge that you have slipped down. Same thing in literature. If you have not aware about the whole theories, aware about the history and what happening in current present time, that you cannot go beyond the depth of the literature. So when you read literature, you comes to know about the all the theories and all theories and present and history. So that you read literature and go the depth of literature. And when you face all difficulties and reach at the top of the mountain, and you see that all world are looking beautiful and proper way you look around all the world. So, and in literature, you with this through this all the novels, all the knowledge, you can go the depth of the literature and how literature shaped me. So before I have read literature, any text or text for only purpose of exam and only purpose of entertainment. But now I read any literary text with gain something knowledge and something knowledge, and also when I watch movie only for entertainment. But after being a student of literature, I watch movie with a different perspective, that how movie reflects our social issue, political issue, and how the frame of the movie. So it's changed my vision and it's shaped me literature.
Okay, fine. Yes. Next, 13th number is Niyati is absent, no? Niyati, okay. Jignesh.
Hello, myself Jignesh Panchasara. When I got the admission in the English department, at that time sir had asked three questions: that what is literature, why you study literature, and which text do you most like. So at that time I was not fully aware about that what is literature, because I know that literature is in only book. So there was a definition which was given by me. Literature is a mirror of the society, and anything that is written or printed, that is literature. But after completing MA, I have realized that literature can be anything. You can define literature, and you can connect literature in your own way, and further how literature shaped me. There are some theories like existentialism, absurdism, post-colonialism, which has changed my lifestyle, because at that time I was fully a religious person. I was believing in God, and some kind of silly activities which people are following for the religion. But now after learning for waiting for God by Samuel Beckett, that I have realized that there is no existence of a God, and now I'm one of the atheist person. I'm not believing in that kind of activity. So I have realized that શ્રીફળ ફોડવાથી જ્ઞાન ના આવે. And here is the metaphor of literature. So here I use the rosemary is one of the metaphor for literature, because rosemary rosemary gives some kind of mental strength to improve your mind. Like literature is the same thing, and also for further literature. Rosemary is used in the kitchen, so kitchen is our literature, and there is a one book like a poem, novel, short story, etc. So these are the condiments of the literature. But it's depend on you how you can make your own delicious food. And for further, rosemary has some kind of scent which you can spread in every season. So literature is the same thing, which you can use in every season. So this was my point of view about that. Which aspect.
Okay, yeah. So, okay, you can very interestingly say that literature is all imaginative. So, the way you refer to God, religion also is imaginative. God is a beautiful character, wonderful imaginative character, and the way other characters inspire us and help us in life, God also helps us and inspires us. But still, it remains an imaginative character. The entire construction is like literature. That way, you can say. So, if you read a text and say, I don't believe in this text, that may perhaps not be a proper way of looking at literature. So, religion also is a literary text. As a kind of literature is a socio-cultural construct made with help of language. The same way that also is there. And it also has beautiful characters. It also has very interesting, wonderful characters as literature also has. Okay? Okay, 14th, then 15th one is Kishan. Yes, yes. Huh. Huh, yes. Okay.
Yes, before MA, my point of view, literature is only for read material and go to exam and write down your answer. But after MA, my point of view in literature very huge and large. Literature connect to our life and literature connect to all subject. You can connect psychology, philosophy, ecology, uh, and financial, any subject you can connect literature, and you can watch the literature, all subject in the book and any literary text. And my metaphor is a router. So here I given metaphor of router here to literature as a form for it is looking thrilling or interesting. We can represent a router as a use medium. Router is a literature which are connected to many different approaches and topics. Just as the internet pass through wire inside a router, and through the router, the internet is delivered and can be connected to many different computers. So is literature called a router that deals with a different subject. Literature is shaped in every field. So there is not a single subject in which literature is not provided. Literature is to some extent connect with it in all subject and fields. So during of literature, we find so many difficulties and so many problems. At end, when we reach to router, we feel that we find that finally we got something, some kind of kick for life. So as well as from literature, we got many things from literature helping us in all our life. Thank you.
Okay, good. Interesting. He is in ICT committee. So you have to think in terms of technology. That is, well, genuinely getting connected with what we do. If we get connected, then everywhere we see the same kind of an example. That is where the sincerity in literature also is seen. In Arvind Adiga's novel, White Tiger, there is a character is a driver. So when he looks anything, he sees in context of roads and driving wheel and car and everything. એટલે કોઈની માથાની પાથી જોઈ તો એમ લાગે કે હાઈવે ઉપર સફેદ પટ્ટો હોય એવું દેખાય છે. That is how you get connected with what you do. But it's a good point. Router gets connected with so many things, and we get connected with outer world, with virtual world, and through lot many knowledge systems through which we get connected through that. So literature connects us with the amazing world of knowledge systems. Okay? So good metaphor. Then Stuti is there? Okay. 16th one, Stuti. Yes.
Hello everyone. Now I am totally different from earlier life. Some positive change happened with me with the help of reading studying literature. If I talk about some positive effect of literature in my life, I would like to say that some unexpected change happen in my life because of literature. Now I know how to understand human being and how to understand society. I can understand moral standard and morality. Now I can easily choose between what is good for me and what is bad for me. Um, uh, what is as a metaphor of literature is I select the fruit jam. Fruit jam literature is like a fruit jam. All fruit mixed together very well that we can't identify which taste is given by which fruit. But this fruit jam is not sweet like original one. Rather, I would like to say that this fruit jam of literature is rather bitter, hard to understand, and impossible to accept as it is.
Okay, fine. Yes. Next one is Anjali. Where? Yeah. Okay.
My metaphor about literature is the rising sun. As a sunrise in every morning, it brings with a new shine. As a literature, when we wake up early morning with a new idea, and literature gave like a sun. Every morning, sun is not with the same shine with the same angle. As is the literature is like. Bring with a new ideas. Uh, and the literature gave me too much knowledge. And before MA, I think about literature is just collecting essay novels, autobiographies, poetry, fictions, non-fictions. And now my perspective was totally changed. Literature is gave me a worldview. What is going on in the world? That kind of a perspective gave by me literature, given by literature. So this is my.
Okay. Finally, rising sun is the also a good metaphor. Bhumika, last one. Yes. Okay. Yes.
In my BA studies, I considered towards literature that it is very hard and I'm not able to study it. But when I take admission in MA, that time I got one task that what is literature. That time also my definition towards literature is same, and now I'm much matured by this literature, and my definition is changed, and my metaphor for this literature is a coconut. That coconut is something which is not breakable easily, and literature is same like it. If we took interest in it, and uh, uh, if we can break it, if we go deep into it, we can get the sweet fruit like coconut, and it is from my side.
Okay, fine. So these are the things there. Okay, just take one round of everybody in this. Okay. Okay, so interesting metaphors, and explaining metaphor is very significant how we understand. And still many of you are very well able to tell how literature is shaping the things. Though we know that we can't still grasp the entire literature and how it shapes at this time, but the activity or the exercise will perhaps make a kind of a niche in our mind or in our thinking, and maybe we will keep on thinking in this way, and then maybe after 20-25 years, when you will be around 50 years, if you happen to again think about this thing, something about the literature you may see in a much better way than what way you are looking at that now. So whether it will make a niche in your mind, whether it will make a kind of a permanent mark in such a way that your thinking will always be in this way, like you see everything with critical insight. You always try to connect a dot with something significant, which helps you to look at life in a much wider perspective, not only into a narrow subjective perspective, but objectively with wider perspective. Perhaps it may help. So that is the purpose of this activity of thinking about literature and whether literature is shaping us or not. It would have been good if you might have also told that, well, literature is failing in shaping also the variety of literature that we study, and then perhaps it is not working also in life. So what are our life experiences and how literature is playing a vital role? So even as a kind of a critique of this, that do literature make really any kind of an impact in our life or not? The answer can be no also, or the very question can be critiqued, that how or what capacity that we try to see. So that also can be thought of when you think in this direction. Okay, so finally let us come to our spreadsheet, which we ask you to fill. So let us see what are the things that you have filled in this spreadsheet. You can put here. Okay, Anjali, your word is missing still. Adjective, Anjali is there. Yeah, so this you see that. Okay. Best adjective, best adverb, sentence connector, toughest or difficult word, metaphor, and symbol, if it is there. Okay. Okay, fine. So this you have filled the details here. And this details about your digital presence over various platforms, that is YouTube, blog, SlideShare, how things are there. So these are the views on YouTube that people are, how many people have been attracted towards your thing. So Daya has 10,000 views. That seems to be the highest in this. Yes, on YouTube, the people who might have come. Yeah? So I think you have prepared this when you were doing B.Ed. Yeah? So this video seems to be about the B.Ed lessons. So right from the B.Ed day. So earlier the better. Earlier if you open and do, then it is better. So semester 2 students, still it is time for you if you have not opened your YouTube channel. Only 3 students participated in Teachers Day from semester 2 class. So those 3 students will have a YouTube channel as a part of virtual Teachers Day. Others may not have, and we hope they might have prepared, but normally our hopes are hopeless. People normally don't do the things until the last moment comes. The last month comes, the last night comes, then only people normally move on. Otherwise, you can have better things there also. Riddhi also has a good number here. Then about 1,000, Latta, Kishan, and Aditi also has a good number of things there. Okay, fine. Pina also has more than 1,000. Then if you see blogs, who is at the top in the blog? You all also can see on your pages. You also can help. Yes? Who is at the top? I think Riddhi, have you not put the number? Riddhi's number is missing there. Stuti, you have not put the numbers? Do it quickly. Then you will not do. આપણે છૂટા પડ્યા પછી તમે નહીં જ કરો, મને 100% ખાતરી છે. 2 વર્ષનો અનુભવ છે. My learning outcome also, how you shaped me. If I have to say that how you shaped me, then this I have to say. So right now, write the things there. Pina 10,000, okay. 5,000 Hiral, 5,000 Daya, okay. 3,000 Latta, 4,000 Nidhi. Okay, so these are somewhere at the top in this. Okay. So you can also have a creative writing, as Hiral has put this, which are more number of visitors have come to watch this blogs. This you have to put here. It is the top 3. Top 3 means the best viewed, most viewed. This is top 3. Top 3 means not which is the top. The last is at the top normally. Last is at the top. That is how the blogs are there. So I think you have put this last as top. Translation is at the highest, but this blog you might have written right now only. This must be the last blog. So that only is the highest. No other blogs are there, because this translation is the last unit that you might have done. And assignment 1, now this helps you to say that you have to give proper title to your blog. This helps you to tell that you have to give proper title. So you don't know what is this assignment. Okay, Khushbu, you have to put here things. Stuti is still putting. Okay, then slide share. Yeah. In slide share, who is at the top? Niyati is not there, but she has put the things, I think. Yeah? Okay. Yes, who is at the top in slide share? Whose presentations has been searched, googled and viewed by many people. Pina, 6,000? Yeah, yes, okay. She has an advantage of 1 year, because this is her 3rd year in masters. So 1 year matters a lot. If it is done earlier one, then that is there. Okay. Then around 2,000 we have this 2,800, 2,200. Okay. And still some of you have not put the things here. Total number of poems, novels, plays that you have studied in last 5 years. Yes, it is last 5 years. Total number of novels, poems, plays that you have studied, that you have to put here. So I think these are very low numbers. This 5 and 9 only won't be there. Yeah? I think more than 5 you have studied in masters only. Novels, we are talking about BA and MA. So 5 is doubtful number. So have you understood who is first? Aditi has not put the things, or? hard. Collectively, you have to put all 5 years, the total number you put. So why there is still that confusion? You can ask other people કે તમે આટલું બધું કેમ ભણી લીધા? અમે તો આટલું જ ભણ્યા. આવો પ્રશ્ન થાય કે તમે આટલું એટલે કોઈ કહે કે નહીં આમાં 5 વર્ષના એટલે આપણે સુધારી લઈએ. Talk with people. That is the thinking in community, learning from class. જે એક આશય છે અલગ પ્રકારના થિંકિંગમાં એક એ છે how you learn from class, how you talk with people about your things. We have made many times this comment that people talk a lot about, like you gossip about people in recess, before the class, after the class. But why don't you talk about topics by learning what you have learned from today's class or the unit? Then there won't be confusion. Then you don't have such confusion if that happens. Okay, our purpose for this is to see that you tell other people, to your other students, if you meet that, keep on sharing all these things. Occasionally keep on sharing this on social media, on Twitter, Facebook or whatever platform, so that every time you share, 10-15 people will click by mistake something and you may get something. But the point is that you are proud of your work. We keep on sharing things about what we are proud of. We own something, and so we love to share those things. Something that is valuable to us, we keep on sharing with other people. Why our academic life is not valuable to us? Why don't we share about it? Why we are completely silent about our academic things? That is the question. And we want you to do that. Worldwide, people will tell you that how you can share about birthday photographs, about going on a seashore photograph, going on a mountain, sunset, sunrise, all those photographs, lot many people are doing. That we don't have to teach, that you are learning from so many other people. And they all are teaching you all those things, that you are traveling, take a photo from a bus and post it, that beautiful sunset, sunrise is happening. We don't have to teach, we have to teach academic. That you will not find. Very rarely people will be sharing about what academically they are doing. And that you keep on doing. Presentations keep on sharing on these platforms, blogs, keep on sharing YouTube, particular videos, you keep on sharing, and then you may get something good. So maybe you will give this message to your juniors, that keep on sharing so you can have a good number, a respectable number, where you can not only be jealous of other people, but other people can be jealous of you. That way you can put the number that let other be jealous of you rather than you be jealous of other people. But talk in that way about those things there. Okay, fine. Then we end this recording also here about this session about digital portfolio demonstration. Okay?